25th of May 2005, there was a big demonstrations against late President Mubarak, former President Mubarak. We gathered over the stairs of the press syndicate as usual as a sign of protest, but at that day the security and the Ministry of Interior was very brutal against the peaceful demonstrations, and they used thugs to come and violate and harass Egyptian activists and female journalists. Few of our colleagues, including our late colleague Nawal Ali, was harassed very brutally. Actually, she was the most one who was harassed at that day. And starting from this day, no one can take justice from this regime at that time. A few months later, because Nawal lost her husband, her family, because you know harassment is very influential in the Egyptian society. Then she lost her job itself. She and a few of our colleagues, including female journalists, have raised a case in front of the African court. They got a decree that the Egyptian government is still condemned about that, and then they have to pay for this.
Our group is called Operation Anti-Sexual Harassment and Assault, and this came as a reaction to the mob assaults that were taking place in Tahrir. We first started on November 30th, 2012. And with the wave of the mob assaults against female protesters, we decided to form like a strong group with, you know, we divided each other in terms of each group has certain tasks to do. We basically will intervene in cases of mob assaults and try to rescue the women or the girls involved in the assaults.
We had demand for this revolution, but still we do not have justice. And harassment against the females in general, female activists and journalists, is still ongoing in a way that made a phenomena.
We try to encourage the survivors as well it's all about women's empowerment. We know that the state or whoever is doing this, whoever's behind the assaults, is trying to stop the women from or deprive them from their political life.
Through punishment, impunity, punish whoever is concerned in that. And from our experience, harassment is not just an individual act, because it happens individually, but actually it's a political act. It comes to limit the freedom to try to marginalize women from political participation and social participation in this society.
In the Egyptian Penal Code does not have harassment even mentioned in the Egyptian Penal Code. But right now, the National Council for Women, it has been assigned by the Prime Minister Hisham Andil to draft a law regarding violence against women in general. But the problem is, even if we have a law, laws are just words on paper unless they're implemented. So we're not sure, and no one's sure that such laws can be actually implemented when the regime is still there.
Actually, the current law doesn't have a specific articles, but the women in this country have gathered, and they have a suggestion for a law that can really fight violence against women.
Sadly, we still have a long way to go, but I'd rather, you know, be different and use the optimistic side. What opportunities do women have in terms of, you know, what the revolution has done to us? Women now speak up. Let's say sexual harassment, for example, you'd find, I mean, you barely ever heard a girl's testimony or see her face on the camera talking about her assault or her sexual harassment experience, which is definitely a very, very important thing.
Some of us are dead, but all of us were not dead yet. So we are going to get this right. There is no rights that can go when there is people who are asking and demanding for this rights. We're not going to let this go. I'm not talking only about Egyptian women, about all the women in all the society.
We're still fighting.
For this we want by June the 30, we wanted to change Morsi and to have a new president who not to belong to any party or any Muslim group or something, but only to belong to general, to belong to everyone in Egypt and to work for each one in Egypt. The fault of Morsi in the economy. First, we saw the pound, Egyptian pound now was by Hosni Mubarak time was equal to $5.5. Now you see it is $7. $1 equal to £7, and we have a problem with the oil, with solar, with benzene, with petroleum, and sometimes we have here in Egypt some cities, some districts, the electricity is down.
This is the painting, the meaning we are not accepted anyone to steal the power from the leader of the court or from the judge. We need the judge, it has to be freedom. They do under the law, not under any person, not under any pressures. We need him freedom and quiet. But the Muslim Brotherhood, they like to control even the court, even the judge.
We deserve more strong president, more equal president who look for each one in Egypt. We respect everyone in Egypt, and we want everyone in Egypt to live in equal, have the same rights and the same duties.
I do some painting on the wall to keep the people memory why the Egyptian people come out in 25th of January for revolution, not forget the revolution.
History of 30 years dictatorship and 60 years a system between dictatorship and trying to be democracy a little bit. The people used to deal with the corruptions, and then everything, even the regular people used to deal with the corruptions in the departments of the governments. There are, in fact, the counter-revolution is with the deep state. It's everywhere. We have around 8 million people work in the governmental positions. It's not easy to clean this in one time. New constitution, new referendum, new election. This is wasting time, wasting money. When we have an elected first time president in Egypt, that means we have a democracy, we have the opinion of the Egyptian people under free, pure election, and then the people said their opinion when they choose Dr. Morsi. They should give a chance for the period or the term, the first term, which is 4 years. He gave promises, as any president or any can in over the world, candidates give promises, and then he tries to do all these promises in the first period. Tomorrow campaign, they are belong to the oppositions. They never give a solution when they criticize. They never talk about what is the advantage. They always talk about the disadvantages. They never talk about what the changes of Egypt before and after the era of Mubarak regime. Do your job, talk to the Egyptian people, get their voice, get their voters to your side. You will have your prime minister, and in the new constitution, the prime ministers have more benefits more than the presidents. Take those people, take their names, let them to vote for you in the next election, then it's easy to change. We don't have to have another revolution now.
About the removal of Morsi, that means the removal of the democracy era. That remove of the benefits of the revolution of 25th of January 2011. That made the counter-revolution succeeded. That brings Egypt back for the dictatorial era. again. And the people in the Tahrir Square are belong to Tamarrud organization. Then there are a very good relationship between the army heads, which is General el-Sissy or the Marshal el-Sissy. The oppositions since the revolution of 25th January work together with the people belong to Mubarak regime, and unfortunately belong to the police and some of the heads of the army. We already have a constitution in Egypt. This is constitution made by 64% of the Egyptian people. We still want our constitution back. Yes, for sure we can add any amendments, we can cancel any article according to the constitution itself by the official parliamentarian. When the election of the parliamentary election take place, then the new parliamentarian have the power to change any article or to add any amendments. Yes, they can do it. Even they are follow up all of us. They arrest a lot of people, and there are some torture happen in the jail for our people which they arrested, and now they send every day thugs to our demonstrations to hurt our people in the rallies or demonstrations, and they kill. Everybody heard about what kind of killing, and to arrest 664 people. We never talk about the election right now. We need our legitimacy back. We need our freedom back. And then if you talk about the election, which the parliamentary election, yes, we will participate if the country come back to the democracy regime. But if we're still in this kind of dictatorial and tyrannical and a police state and army state, how come you want to participate in some kind of election and we are in a police state? Now we still insist to be in the street, we still insist to escalate our demonstrations all over the country till we get back our dignity. We get release the real president Morsi out of jail, out of arresting, and his family too. We never know where he is. We never know where is his family, and where is the people he arrested. A lot of people would behind them. We don't know where they are. Is that the democracy which the Tamarrud and the opposition looking for, to close 17 TV channels and close a lot of newspapers and to arrest a lot of writers and a lot of political leaders? Is that democracy which they are looking for, to kill people every day? No, this is not democracy.